Odisha is steadily broadening its economic base, moving much beyond its traditional reliance on mining and metals. We have seen and known Odisha for years for the religious tourism, but now what we are finding it is being powered by large-scale industries. We are seeing new investments, proactive government initiatives coming into being. Well, to help us understand this transformation that Odisha is currently going through and highlighting the latest developments on ground, we are joined today by Mr. Hemant Sharma. He is Additional Chief Secretary of the Industries Department and Chairman EPICOL Odisha. And the other thing that I wanted to share is, well, Mr. Sharma is affectionately dubbed the man of industry in Odisha's industrial circle due to his pivotal role in shaping the industrial landscape. Mr. Sharma, welcome to ET. So I'll start with very basic questions. A couple of days back, we heard in the press that Mr. Maji came up with something around 27 major industrial projects, and he promised something around over 25,000 crore of investments, along with over 50,000, if I'm not wrong, of jobs. Okay. Sir, wanted to understand from you, sir, like we discussed last time also, all these kinds of investments and MOUs keep coming, but the thing is, generally most are non-binding, and some are vulnerable even to the cancellation, sir. Can you make us understand, sir, how much the investments are coming on ground in Odisha? If you can just also help us know the numbers in terms of the investments that have materialized on ground so far, sir.
So, I think in the last 15 months, we have focused mostly on grounding of our investment proposals. While it is a fact that Odisha continues to attract investments on metallurgy, on mining related activities, logistics, because of its traditional advantage. But of late, at least from Utkarsh Odisha Make in Odisha conclave, which happened in January 2025, we have focused and have been very successful on other sectors also. Till date, we have received investment proposals worth about 15 lakh crore in the last 15 months, of which we have been able to convert into approvals investments worth about 3.54 lakh crore. Out of this, about 2.04 lakh crore investments have been grounded, which means that they have actually physically started work on the ground. As we further move along, our target is to convert at least 5 lakh crore worth of investment by end of financial year 2026. So that is by up to March 2026. We should be able to do so because we have tied up lands for these projects. We are also in the process of giving them major approvals. The recent announcement which was made by our Honorable Chief Minister Shri Mohan Charan Maji was on the 4th groundbreaking ceremony. Up till that, we had organized 3 where we had converted 1.80 lakh crore worth of investments, and this included, it becomes 2.04. Good point to note here is that out of this 25,000 crore, only 5,000 is in metallurgical, traditional metallurgical sectors. Rest of the 20,000 crore is mostly spread across chemicals, the petrochemicals, recycling, and also in
engineering
and what are called precision engineering goods. So we are also observing now a sectoral shift in the investment landscape of Odisha.
In Odisha, like you talked about that only a small part is into the old traditional industries like metal mining, and you are shifting to the new age industries. So the next question comes in the form of semiconductor projects, just approved by the Union Cabinet in the month of August. I wanted to understand more about it, sir, how the government is, or if I put it this way, why Odisha for these semiconductor projects, because 2 out of 10 would be coming up here. Why Odisha, and what is the kind of guidelines and action plan that the government is taking, you people are taking, and what is the expected project timeline for it? Also, if you can take us through the kind of jobs that would be created and the investments that would come on the ground, sir.
See, Government of Odisha's focus on semiconductor industry, electronic component industry is primarily related to jobs and higher order jobs. See, we have good labor-intensive industries in textiles, chemicals, even mining is a very labor-intensive industry, but those jobs are at a lower level. Odisha's focus on semiconductor and electronics is because of the reason that these are new sectors for even our country. There is a huge focus by Government of India, huge push by Government of India, and therefore we certainly stand to benefit. What are our competitive advantages? So I would say we have 3 major competitive advantages. One is our policy is very progressive. It provides the highest level of incentives for semiconductors and electronic components. That is number 1. And we have I would say, what is called a complementary policy to Government of India. So any project which gets, let's say, subsidy from Government of India is still entitled to subsidy from the state government, a top-up subsidy which can go up to 75%. That is the first advantage, a good policy. The second advantage which we have is good quality industrial land ready to move in industrial plots for electronics and semiconductors close to the state capital Bhubaneswar. So we have a 750 acres of electronics park where we have carved out one third, that is 250 acres only for semiconductor related industries, which is where these two projects have actually been approved. So that is the second advantage. Most of the companies are looking for land close to this state capital because there is good connectivity, there is good standard of living, other social infrastructure like housing, schools, colleges, health facilities are assured. Therefore, and these are companies where you actually have to attract a lot of talent, higher order engineering talent, higher order management talent. So state capital Odisha Bhubaneswar is blessed with a huge talent pool in terms of good quality engineering and management institutions. So we have IIT Bhubaneswar, Triple IIT Bhubaneswar, we have the OU Odisha University of Technology and Research, where there is a special center of excellence on semiconductors. We have other private sector institutions like Centurion, CV Raman Global Institute, KIT Institute. All these are highly ranked institutes, engineering institutes in the country, and attract a lot of engineering talent. So in terms of availability of engineering talent close by, in terms of availability of good quality industrial land, social infrastructure close to the state capital, with good connectivity, that is the second part, and the third part is a good policy. All these three taken together have enabled us to actually be competitive for the semiconductor industry. You would have noticed that in the recent approvals which have been given by Government of India, so we are not yet in the fab space, right? We are not really in the fab space. We are into the component space. Those who are actually in mid-ranging segments. So both the companies 6M as well as 3D glass solutions. So they are essential. In fab or wafers or these are very high, ultra high investments. They will certainly come up in ones or twos or threes. But multiple component manufacturing units are required. Multiple ancillary units are required. So we are targeting that segment where we are ideally placed. So our strategy is basically, since Government of India will certainly push bigger companies to set up fabs and wafers, we are pushing ourselves for the mid segment where, irrespective of whether the fab is in Gujarat or Bangalore or is in California or is in Malaysia, our companies will still find business.
I guess in a way it's more a boost to the MSMEs also in the state.
Absolutely, absolutely. The mid-ranging, what we call the sweet spot.
Sweet spot
of industrial development. So there, the good point is these companies don't need thousands of acres of land, right? But so our offering is absolutely, it matches with the requirement of these mid-ranging companies, which will certainly find good business in India because of the push which is being given by the Government of India.
Right. So when we talk about the investments on the ground and the new companies coming up, there's always an aspect to this land acquisition. Though not only Odisha, in other parts of the country also, we have seen the land acquisition has not been a very smooth process at times, not most of the time, at times. I wanted to understand from you, sir, what kind of measures the government is taking, the Odisha government is taking, what kind of action plan and guidelines you have in place so that this process is seamless and smooth.
See, it is a fact that land acquisition in India, I mean, it is a challenging process. It is also a time-consuming process, and the reasons are well known. Generally, there is not only a economic but also an emotional attachment to land. So our government basically has a two-pronged approach. One is create land bank in advance, which means that we continuously keep scouting for industrial land with certain parameters, connectivity, water, power, close to a good dense population area so that workers can be made available. So we keep on scouting for land, and we have a good land bank, readily available land bank, which we have developed over a long period of time. So industries, when they come to us today, they don't have to wait for next 2 or 3 years for land to be acquired for them. So that is strategy number one. Strategy number two is basically to give a good package, a good compensation package to the land users. So we adhere to the Land Acquisition Act, all with honesty and transparency and sincerity. We also have a good R&R policy. our R&R policy is very attractive. It provides assurance of jobs or monetary compensation in lieu of jobs to the land losers on a long-term basis. We also have a good land pooling scheme where farmers or those land losers who want to retain a part of their land to benefit upon the higher cost of land post-development. That policy is also quite attractive. So with these two-pronged approach, we feel that we have more or less tackled the equation of large-scale land acquisition. At the same time, challenges continue to remain, and we are very responsive. Our government believes in responsiveness towards citizens. So as and when it appears that we need to do better, we certainly are committed to do better for land acquisition.
And in terms of grievances, sir, any kind of addressal mechanism or?
No, we do have, yeah. For instance, our Honorable Chief Minister, he himself handles public grievances.
Okay.
He every Monday in the entire state, grievance redressal camps are organized. We personally participate in those grievance redressal camps. There are grievances around land acquisition because land is a sensitive matter. But at the same time, the government is responsive, and citizens do have there is a mechanism in which they can approach us. They can escalate their issues if the compensation is not being paid on time, or if there are issues related to harassment at any level. Then we take very strict action.
Strict action. So coming to the other part of the story, sir, about cold storages and other kind of facilities, because ET keeps on going to other parts of the country also. Last time we were in Maharashtra, we found that in the Nagpur belt only, they are focusing more on the FMCG and of course the value-added products. Agriculture, of course, like Odisha and other parts of the country also plays an important role. But now the game has changed. Game has gone on to the processed foods, value addition. In terms of value addition, so we need some facilities, cold storage facilities we have, and other kind of boosts we need. Any kind of strategy you people are focusing on already you have, and you are just working more on it?
See, we actually, in the past, we really haven't done well in the cold chain infrastructure.
Yeah, right.
So last year, our government came up with a good policy for supporting cold storage infrastructure in areas where we do not have such infrastructure as of now. So we have identified pockets where cold storage infrastructure does not exist and is needed either by the processors, that is agri-based processors, or even by farmers to store their commodities for a longer seasonal market. So as of now, we have been reasonably successful. We have identified about 35 locations where cold storages are required but do not exist, and we provide good subsidy in terms of cost of land being subsidized, capital investment subsidy, also cost of power is substantially incentivized. We feel that so on two fronts, right? One is taking the cold storages close to the farmer and bringing the cold chain infrastructure close to processing locations. I would welcome you if you visit our food processing areas close to Khurda. We have 3 food parks close to Khurda, including one seed food park
that I visited yesterday.
You must have visited. So they are now getting saturated.
Yeah.
And the food park, we today have Nestle, Britannia, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Anmol, Indonesin, Campa-Cola. So all the big major food processing industries have chosen Odisha food parks as their base. Not for Odisha. I mean, we are a small state.
Right.
Our market is not very large, but for Eastern India.
Okay.
So if you look at Andhra, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha, Bengal, Assam, and the Northeast. So this is what is East Northeast India. This is today the fastest growing market in India. It is almost 1/3 of India's population.
Right.
Within this area, companies, particularly food processing companies, they find Odisha to be a good location because they can locate the unit in Odisha, sell in Bengal, sell in Jharkhand, sell in Chhattisgarh, sell in Andhra. So we have good network of highways which connects, the National Highway 16, which is Kolkata, Chennai, and the National Highway 55, which connects us with Sambalpur. So these 2 major highways are very attractive for food processing industries. We are trying to bring in the missing links, cold chain infrastructure, as you mentioned. Aside from cold chain infrastructure, there are other missing links also, for instance, container transportation.
Yeah, I was coming to that, sir, about the industrial logistics also, like you were explaining already. I want to put in here about the gaps in connectivity. The road connectivity, you mentioned that the things are going on in terms of highways, sir. In terms of port facilities and warehousing infrastructure.
So that is another, that's a weak link.
Yeah, that's
I must admit it's a weak link as far as today's infrastructure is concerned. The weakest link which we have is containerized cargo facilities. So we have three very large ports. Paradip port is today India's largest port in terms of cargo handling. And so also Dhamra is a fast growing port, as well as Gopalpur is an emerging port. But we do not really have large scale container cargo terminals. So recently we entered into a VGF model. Through VGF model we were able to start cargo operations at Paradip. Very successfully we are doing it now. And now we are also partnering with Paradip Port Authority for a dedicated container terminal at Paradip. In the next 2 years, I would say the second largest, not the largest, because Visakhapatnam today is the largest, will take some time to reach there. But the second largest container terminal on the east coast of India would become functional at Paradip. Within 2 years, you can mark my words, I am on record saying it here, within 2 years with support, active support from the state government. That would actually help us, not only Odisha, it will also help Bihar, it will help Jharkhand, Eastern Belt, it will also help Chhattisgarh, because today the food process, anybody who wants containerized cargo has to either go to Visakhapatnam or they have to go to JNPT or Mundra or Kandla. Imagine the cost savings for companies located not only in Odisha but also in Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, even our neighboring states, Bihar. So this, I would say, we are conscious of our missing link, the weakness, and we are actively working towards redressing it.
So last two questions I'll ask. I know you have a meeting lined up, but still I'll ask you about all the pollution intensive sectors such like steel, aluminium and thermal power. What kind of environmental concerns you are seeing, and how are you addressing the concerns?
See, it is a fact that the bulk of our industry is carbon intensive. I mean, there is no, I can't hide that fact. It's a known fact. Mining industry, metallurgy industry, even chemical industry for that nature is by nature carbon intensive. However, we whatever is possible within the state jurisdiction, monitoring the effluents, monitoring pollution, enforcing higher standards of environmental compliances is what we do very diligently. Our State Pollution Control Board, in fact, is rated amongst the best in the country, not only in terms of supporting the industry in faster clearances and approvals, but also in terms of monitoring air quality, water quality, and whatever way industries need to be monitored. Simultaneously, we are working with our industries. We have an energy transition roadmap. How more renewable energy can be integrated, how more energy storage systems can come so that renewable energy can be integrated better in process industry. Most of our industry is process industry, so they cannot be helped just by solarization. They would need storage systems, etc. So we are very actively working to help our industry access renewable energy anywhere in India and provide them support systems in terms of better grid infrastructure, better policies to support wherever any green initiative is taken. So our industrial policy, for instance, irrespective of the nature of industry, provides 30% capital investment subsidy for any industry which wants to adopt higher environmental standards. So if they want to install some environmental protection equipment which ensures lesser emissions, then we provide good financial support as well. We feel that with technological advancements and with the support of Government of India under the overall framework of decarbonization, net zero targets which have to be achieved, slowly we will transit towards a more greener and less carbon footprint industrial base in Odisha.
And last thing, sir, Mr. Hemant Sharma has seen many years in Odisha changing the industrial ecosystem of the state, sir. Any three things you think, sir, any three works you see that still are incomplete and it is in your wish list?
I think, that's, I think the first item on my wish list is I wish to have more readily available, ready to use industrial land, right? That is number one, so that the time for an industry to start operations gets reduced. That's number one. Number two, I would want the industries to access better factory ready workforce. So we need to do a lot of work on our skill centers in our ITs and polytechnics. They are still way behind the requirement of industries. And the third thing is I would need a more intensive effort on new age sectors like semiconductors, electronics, green energy. That is yet to happen. If these three things are taken, we will certainly be amongst the top players in India.
Well, that's all from the Economic Times side. Thank you, Mr. Sharma, for giving time. Thanks a lot.